if you're the coach facing Duke, right, and you hear the Cooper Flagg this, the coming mile wash that, the veterans, the transfer portal, the NIL, whatever. If you're the coach facing Duke, what do you stop? Right? I like to ask it in this way. When you're playing, because I played college football, when you're playing against a team with a very, very, very good player or something that is the straw that stirs the opposing team's drink, guess what? That scout team member gets to wear a penny, right? If you're playing against a team and Ed Reed is the safety, whoever's Ed Reed on the scout team puts on a different colored penny. And that person gets to be Ed Reed for the week. If you're playing a team with a special quarterback or a special running back, that scout team member wears the penny. Who wears the penny when you're playing Duke? Is it Cooper Flagg? The presumed number 1 overall pick, the National Player of the Year, the ACC Player of the Year, the Freshman of the Year, the All-American, the all of it? Is that the guy you go, all right, we got to stop him? Because Alabama kind of did. If Alabama went into that game and Nate Oates said, stop Cooper Flagg, make him inefficient, make him turn it over, well, they held him to 6 of 16 from the field and forced him into his most turnovers in a game since January. And Duke won by 20. And Duke won by 20. That's not like, well, we did what we had to do, we did what we expected, we kept it close. That is, we did what we set out to do and got smoked. Duke didn't play well in the first half. They were up 9. And Alabama is good. I want that to be clear. Alabama is one of the best offensive basketball teams we've seen in the last 5, 6, 7 years in college basketball. And they did what they were supposed to do defensively. I guarantee you that's what was the number 1 of their priority list. They did it and got beat by 20. Cooper Flagg, after the game, explained that their offense doesn't have to go through any one person.
It's kind of something that I've said a lot through this whole year is that we just have such a talented team. Each night could be somebody else's night. I think tonight Con kind of stepped up and had the ball a lot. We ran a lot of actions for him. Tyrese was huge for us. I mean, I think it's just having so many talented guys on the team. It's not going to be your night every night, and just don't hang your head. Just keep playing hard. Something we talk about, just winning the 98%, doing all the little things. So just not letting the shots affect anything else you do, and just knowing that the rest of the guys got my back and are going to make those plays.
More so even than Con Knipple stepping up or Malawash being efficient, Tyrese Proctor scoring 17. It was Duke's ability to get stops that was the difference. Holding Alabama to 65 points.
The way they slowed down Mark Steers was phenomenal. I mean, that was a coaching masterclass by Jon Scheyer.
It was a coaching it was both. It was both because Jon Scheyer had I'll use a Stephen A. Smith term, the unmitigated gall to put 7'2" into switches on the perimeter and let Malawash play against guards. To have Cooper Flagg get one-on-one with Mark Sears, who is one of the best perimeter creators/shooters in the country, and not immediately send help, not just let those guys work. Let those guys work. We said it on Friday that Duke was according to analytics, at worst, the 6th best defensive team in the country. Both Alabama and Duke were top 5 offensive teams in the country by almost every metric. And the difference was Alabama generously would have been around 150th defensively. So it was elite unit offense against elite unit offense, elite unit defense against middle of all of college basketball level defense.
Subpar.
And that's what it looked like. Duke still efficient offensively, shot above 50%, knocked down a bunch of threes. I'm talking first half. Like a really, really good offense. Alabama looked like a more pedestrian offense, and that's because of the defense they were going up against. Duke was better than Alabama in shot making, which was their calling card, and still way better defensively. That's how you open up eyes nationally. And you know what? I'm going to stop this compliment because I'm hearing a lot of, and the freshmen, right? Right here, we're about to play a clip of Jon Scheyer, and the freshmen play beyond their years. These guys are freshmen that have played a boatload of minutes for like 35 games. I'm calling them sophomores. I'm calling them sophomores at this point. Best part about freshmen is they turn to sophomores, and we're never going to get to see them be sophomores. So let's just pretend they're the Elite Eight forward is their sophomore year for Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple and Kaman Malawash and maybe even somebody like Isaiah Evans. Here's Scheyer on the freshmen playing well beyond their years.
They're mature. Age is just a number, and obviously it's different to have 3 freshmen starting. And tonight we played 5 freshmen. A team that's going to a Final Four, and I think for our program. We've always thought about doing things differently. I think the key to this team, one is you bring in the right people as freshmen, but then you have great balance. Tyrese is a junior, Caleb coming back, Sion, Mason, Malik. That balance is huge, and I think that was really important for us in the offseason to add that in addition to really mature freshmen who are loose, confident, competitive, and not fazed by this environment.
Yeah, they're good, but they're not normal freshmen.
They're not. And again, they have played a ton of minutes, but still experiencing the spotlight of these types of games and the pressure that only comes with actually doing it. And this is the first time they've experienced it themselves.
But it was funny because I forget which game it was, either Friday or either the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. In the post-game presser, there were 3 guys next to Jon Scheyer, and he goes, these 3 guys, they've never experienced this. And one of them was Sion James. And I'm going he's a 5th-year senior. And this is his, obviously, Tulane, no offense to Tulane, wasn't making deep runs into the tournament every year. So there's you can have graduate seniors that are walking into a Final Four going, I've never felt pressure like this. That's not necessarily a freshman thing. And matter of fact, Cooper Flagg won the high school national championship last year. He's played against LeBron and Steph and them in Olympic games. He probably has more experience playing under gigantic amounts of pressure than a lot of juniors out there that are working their way into a role. And then the last person I want to highlight is Jon Scheyer. He's proving, and this is a massive compliment to him, that he's as good of a coach as he is a recruiter. And that's going to be real deadly if he can keep that up. There was a text, I actually went back and found it, with somebody who I trust in basketball, so I was talking questions preseason. This was from October 11th. He was asking me about Scheyer. I said, Scheyer can recruit his butt off. Got to prove he can coach in late game situations and make the adjustments, though. That's what I said preseason. You know what's even better? Pull the right strings, press the right buttons that make late game situations irrelevant. If there's a great article from Brendan Marks on The Athletic about the timeout that Duke had with 6 minutes and 39 seconds left in the game against Alabama. The score was 69-58, so they're up 11. And their media timeout. Everybody comes over. And I have the quote here in front of me. I can't read it all to you for obvious reasons. This from The Athletic, Brendan Marks. There you go. It's our time. Right bleeping now. Right bleeping now. Scheyer yelled at him, essentially, at the 5 sets of eyes in front of him, as the article illustrates. And then he finished with, "This is our game." Duke ended on a 16-7 run, pushed the lead up to 20 before Mark Sears finally scored the next bucket for Alabama about 3 minutes exactly, after that timeout. I think one of the things that Jon Scheyer has gotten much better at is knowing when to throw the basketball scheme nerd stuff out and appeal to the players' emotions. When to use a halftime to say, okay, we're going to change the way we're blitzing the pick and roll, and when to use a halftime to say, we're playing soft. And that's so much of coaching that the assistant coach, because he was a longtime assistant, doesn't really have to do, right? The assistant coach just talks to the head coach and then listens like everybody else in the big speech moments. Knowing which card to pull out is huge. And he's pulled out the right one all the way up till now. And now they get the Final Four. Fight for their place in history. I feel like we need like a Leonidas from 300 speech, right? It's like, do you want to, or even better, Brad Pitt in Troy, right? Like, do you want to be immortal? That's what they're fighting for now. Immortality. That's why no one will remember your name.